Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Shine.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Here we are again, ready to shine. We're coming to you from a studio today, so hopefully everything's looking good. Let us know if there's any lags or issues with sound. Hi, Selena. Charlene's here.
Oh, hey, Charlene.
Selena's here right behind me, Charlene. That's awesome. I'm so glad you're here.
So we are in the Park co-working space, which is located in Bowmanville, and it's a fantastic little haven for really anyone. Amanda, you discovered it last week.
Okay, so if you know Brand Ambition, which I'm sure a lot of you do.
And you know that we love them.
And you know Katie Dempsey, I'm sure a lot of you do. So the Park is the co-working studio that she created in her space. And so yes, I was here last week and I got a shit ton of work done being here and focused because I'm usually working from home like many of you, many of us are right now with all the distractions. And I came here. And, I know we all know about vibration, or I assume we do, but man, it's just so true, right? You come out and you get in the vibration of like entrepreneurs who are here all working together, doing different things, but I got so much to get stuff done. Yeah. And I posted some pictures and these ladies were like, well, let's go. So we said, let's come shine here and hang out after. So
here we are. Doing. Oh, I have a different backdrop. You might have noticed me licking the foam off my finger. Just tea latte. It seems we're having internet lags, but hopefully you guys are able to stay with us.
Yes, so from Hearts Espresso, which is the barista shop that's here in the studio.
In the park. And so it's awesome.
In the park.
Oh, hearts in the park. And your tea. And we're shining our hearts in the park. So we're here though to talk about being lonely.
Yes. The topic of lonely.
And I feel like we circle back to this a lot because I imagine it's true for everyone, maybe not just me, that loneliness is really part of your own spiritual evolution.
It is. Like I wrote down, it feels like it's a necessary and chosen part of self-evolution, although some might argue it's not always chosen. And I would kind of say whether it's conscious or not, it is chosen because it's part of the journey back to self.
Where's that meme that I saw this morning?
I haven't. Yeah. It's part of the journey back to self. So we were chatting this morning, Michelle and I, as we usually do. We don't plan what we're going to talk about. We pick a topic. Usually it comes out of us being together somewhere.
Right.
Like which happened. We had lunch together. Right. We were talking about our own individual journeys, the topic of loneliness and isolation.
This is what I saw this morning. I don't know if you can read it. I lost myself trying to please everyone else. And now I'm losing everyone while I'm finding myself.
Yeah. Let me read it again. I lost myself trying to please everyone else. Now I'm losing everyone while I'm finding myself.
Okay. So I don't know how much we need to share.
Yeah.
But Amanda and I, like she said, had lunch a couple weeks ago and things got a little bit growy. Let's say they got growy.
We took the opportunity to use our incredible relationship to work out feelings that we were having and utilize those feelings together to grow.
Right. And it was ugly and it was messy. Like I was very ugly crying in the middle of the fucking restaurant. But these moments happen.
Yeah, they do.
And I didn't see it at the time as a gift. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when things get uncomfortable for me, I just want to run. I just want to get out. And it's not because I don't love this and cherish this woman and want to be there with her to fix it. It's because I don't know how to fix it. I need to run away to figure out what I can do. Often it's nothing. And so then I have to get comfortable and not do anything. And the part that I often miss is the thing. I don't often come back and say, this is what I did and this is why. The problem that day was Amanda wouldn't let me leave.
No. And so, I saw an opportunity there. Maybe not, well, now I have hindsight, but I guess.
You weren't thinking about your growth. You were thinking about your growth. And you weren't thinking about my growth. You were thinking about your growth.
Yeah, so I had an opportunity there to, I think, hold the space because intuition or your instinct was to run, right? And what I'm working with is being able to share myself fully in who I am. And my biggest fear on the other side of that is rejection, loneliness, becoming alone, losing everyone. So here I've shared some truth with someone in front of me And her inclination was to run, and I wouldn't let her. I would have let you.
I'm
And
glad.
so what I
I'm
said, do you
glad.
mind if I share like a little bit? So Michelle was having an emotional reaction, was having trouble opening her eyes or looking at me,
Right.
and was just saying, I have to leave, I have to leave.
Right,
And I
right.
reached across the table and I held her arms and I said,
Like she
I'm not-
literally held me there.
yeah, and I said, I'm not going to force you to stay, but I want you to know that I am right here. I am looking at you, and if you're ready to open your eyes, I'm not leaving. I don't want you to run, and I don't want to leave like this. So let's see what we can do here. And
So
she did.
It was an opportunity, an uncommon opportunity to share out loud the story I was telling myself. And of course, as I shared that story, well, I can't fix this. Whatever we were talking about happened then, and I can't go back and, I don't know how to fix this. And then it created space for Amanda to share and say, well, what I'm telling myself is you say you need to go, and that's confirming that if I am who I am, everybody's going to leave.
How incredibly profound.
We forgot to tell you Selena's
Yeah.
here.
No, we
Our
told
live
them.
studio audience.
We told them. I told them.
How
And actually, this is the
Yeah.
first time we've seen each other again since that.
Yeah, we've been supporting each other through message because we made
Yeah.
a deal that day. We knew that we'd come away and our trauma is going to inform our next response,
Tell us
right?
stories.
And tell us stories.
Yeah.
And we made a commitment to call each other. So when you start telling a story and you start getting alone in your mind about this and going somewhere else, don't bring it to an external person.
Right.
Bring it back to me because I
Right.
want to work on this together, and I'll offer the same
And we
back
can
to
confirm
you.
or deny the story that each other is telling the other. Right? So like I
Right.
went home
Right.
and Mitchell
Right,
said,
right.
how was lunch? And I said, it was awful, which was not the answer he was expecting
No.
because usually I'm like, it was amazing. Like it was awful. And then he said, are you guys going to be okay? And I said, I don't know. So emotionally, the story I was telling myself was, we can't overcome this. When I had just literally stood with Amanda and we committed that we were going to be okay, that we wanted each other, that this was a great moment and we're going to build from this. Like we literally had that conversation.
Yeah.
But then I got out of the vibration and went right back into my trauma fear of no, we're not going to make it. So then I messaged her immediately and said, I just shared with Mitchell, and this is what came out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing it with me. And we talked more.
We did, yeah. And like that was that feeling of wanting to fix or like we can't
Yeah.
fix. And
Yeah.
I think my response was, let's not try to fix. Like let's
Because often you can't fix.
Well, and all you can ever do is look at you, right? So I can go at Michelle and tell her what I think she should do, and she could tell me what she thinks I could do. But what I saw this as is that invitation to just keep being who I am and commit to being who I am. So I don't have to go through this again. Commit to using my voice, not who I am, I guess, but commit to using my voice in the moment instead of coming away from it. And then,
I think it was who you are though, because
well, true, yeah.
who you are is somebody who would say, I'm going to say this to you that's going to upset you, and I'm still going to love you.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that you are still going to love me.
Yeah.
That was the opportunity that you gave me.
Yeah.
And then it was my challenge to rise to that and say, well, I don't know how to do anything other than love you. So I'm going to stay here and love you, and we can share this hurt together. So we're sharing this example unintentionally. We didn't.
Yeah, we
have a
did
map
it. We
for
had
this.
we had a different route. And
Well,
we're going to
what
go
could
down
have
that route,
happened
but-
is that we could have just gone to our separate corners and it could have all fallen apart. And because we get lonely and we tell ourselves those stories in the dark about Amanda just told me that thing and now she doesn't want to be my friend or talk to her again. Am I going to be who I am without her love and support? I actually said, I can't imagine your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try to reconnect you.
Generally, the good news is it'll still probably record us without the lag. So
Okay.
for anybody watching the replay,
You're back.
yeah, it looks like we're back. Okay, good.
All I was trying to say was that the story makes you become lonely.
Yes. And okay, this is a great jump off point. So Michelle shared that meme in the beginning there, and we were chatting this morning, like, oh, what are we going to talk about? And she shared that meme, and I was like, shit, yes, that's it. That's exactly what I was writing down and thinking about myself this morning, and how for me, loneliness, like when I recognize it, I usually, and most of my lessons, and I don't know, maybe you all will relate or maybe not, maybe this is just me, but most of my lessons come to me externally first. So I'll look outside and I'll look at my relationship, for example, with anybody, my partner, my friends, my business, whatever. And maybe I'll start to like feel lonely in that relationship, and I'll
Yes.
start to question
Yes.
that relationship, that person, that whatever, right? And then from that place, maybe I get a little angry. I don't know. Stuff happens, right? I process. The point is, inevitably, I always come back inside. If I'm lonely in a relationship, it's because I'm lonely from my center. I've come away from my center to stay in a relationship, to concede in a relationship, to make people comfortable so they stay. I come away from my center, and then, you know, I realize that.
I think that's a really relatable point,
You know?
because women are trained that way. It's our job to make other people happy. And that's not to in any way, shape, or form deny that men also experience the same thing. They do. Their pressures are a little bit different. It's not necessarily about needing to make everybody happy. It's about doing the right thing for them. Where for women, it's about making other people happy generally.
Mm-hmm.
And we will, the words you were using earlier today, were shrink ourselves to fit into someone else's box and mold.
Yeah.
Like, what do you need from me? I don't know if I can, okay, I will get smaller. You think I'm too loud? I will try and talk quieter.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like that food? Okay, it's my favorite, but I'll no longer cook it because you don't like it.
Right. And it becomes so subtle too, how like all of a sudden, you know, I didn't realize how the cooking example is a great one. Like, what do I actually like to eat now? I don't know. I cook for everybody else in the house and
Right.
what they like. I got a vegan, I've got a non-vegan, but non-dairy, right? I'm not even in the equation anymore, right?
Right.
So it's such a good example how it's subtle at first, where you're making little concessions, and then before you know it, where do you exist anymore in the relationship, right? No
Yeah.
wonder you feel lonely.
Yeah, because we deny who we are.
Yeah.
And to bring this back to awakening, like we were talking about this morning in our conversation, that, you know, you hit this loneliness at every layer of your soul's
Mhm.
evolution,
Mm-hmm.
because much to most people's chagrin, the path is not a straight road. Right? It's not flat or hilly. No, it's just one ever-ending spiral. And these concentric circles overlap each other, and you hit the same bumps. It's your signal that you are on the next part of your path. Oh shit, I'm back in lonely again.
Yeah.
You know, when you start your awakening, you feel like, oh my God, nobody gets me. I feel like a loon in the woods. Like, I don't even know how to talk to people anymore. I can't even have conversations. And then you become more comfortable and you feel more confident and you're able to have those conversations.
Yes.
And then you have your next layer of loneliness, where you realize, because you're practicing discernment now, which we talked about last time, that you don't actually resonate with these people who started you on your path.
Right.
And now you don't really
You're
like
in a
them.
different
You're in a
place,
different place.
right?
I mean, you love what they did for you, but now you're ready for something else. And then you find loneliness again because you don't have a tribe again. And you find something else in your next circle. Okay, it seems we have a question in the crowd.
Yes.
So what do you do when you're in that lonely space? When you're in that space where you've realized, I don't mesh with anybody, I don't belong anywhere, I'm just alone. What do you do with
Okay, so the
yourself when you're in
question,
that
in
space?
case you can't hear it, is what do you do when you find yourself in that lonely space? I have an answer. I don't know if you
Yeah,
do.
go for it.
So always in all of my teachings, in all of my work, if any of you ever worked with me, it goes back to you. Okay, so if myself that this is my fault and I always break things and that I fuck up every relationship
Is that we numb it away.
because we try to fix
And we
it
try to fill
immediately.
it, right?
Yeah.
And so what do
Yeah.
we fill it with? We
Yeah.
fill it with food, we fill it with
Alcohol,
we fill
Yeah.
it with weed or drugs, we fill it with
shopping,
people,
exercise,
right?
socializing.
We just try to fill the space. And that space is trying to talk to you. And I know
Yes.
for me, like where that brings me back is like, okay, Amanda, what actually matters to you? Like, come back to what actually matters for you
Yes, loneliness
right
is
now.
clarifying
What
your
matters?
values.
Because what mattered back then doesn't matter then. What matters right now in this moment is what matters. But I come away from it, what matters to me, because I think about the external, the other people, and what matters to them. So I look at it like I have to stay with it. And it does, just for the record, it doesn't mean I don't always. Like there was a few years where I make the joke, I smoked weed and watched Grey's Anatomy like it was my job for a few years there. Like Grey's Anatomy, whatever TV show you want to put in there. I did it like it was my job so that I didn't have to look, right?
And what's important to remember is that if you're in that place of having to numb out to manage your loneliness, it is the best you are capable of in that moment.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's all okay.
To be in pain and to feel unheard and unseen. And it's okay to smoke weed and
Well,
binge
then,
watch Grey's
Like,
Anatomy.
you know what happened
Or
on the
drink
other side?
gin
Yeah,
and
you
binge
find
watch Uhtred, son of
compassion.
Uhtred.
You
Right?
find compassion for yourself on the other
Yeah.
side of that.
You
You
have
suddenly
to be
wake
gentle.
up, and you know they say like you'll stop doing something when you're ready. It's true.
It's true.
You'll stop when you're ready to look. You'll stop
It's
when
true.
you feel safe enough to
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
You know, you can trust you're lonely. It's telling you something, you
It's-
know, and
That's
you
such
can
an
trust
important
yourself.
part that I'm glad you brought it up, because I would have skipped right over the importance of accepting that you feel that.
Yeah.
To know that it's not wrong. There's not something wrong with you that you're in a room full of people and you don't feel connected to any of them.
Yeah.
But
We
it's a
sure are
normal
programmed to think
part.
it's wrong with
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
right? That it's
Yeah.
something wrong with you.
Yeah.
And so much of like the self-help industry in different places are telling us that there's something you need to fix. No, you just need to know. You just need to know what's important for you. What do you need?
What's been a touchstone for me a lot in dealing with loneliness, because you asked that question, Selena, was I love you lonely. I love you lonely. I love you lonely. But you know, like how much I love affirmation. So I'm always going to go to that.
Yeah.
And is loneliness an opportunity then?
Yeah.
It's an
It's not a bad
opportunity to
thing.
know yourself.
Yeah, it's an opportunity. Don't look at it as a bad thing.
No.
That's not a bad
And
thing.
I think it's a signal, right, of something new to come.
I would even say there's
You know?
no bad things.
No. Yes, of course.
Mhm.
It all just is, right?
Yeah.
And I just have so much trust. Like I think that's what it doesn't mean. Again, it doesn't mean I like it. It doesn't mean I like when I'm fucking lonely and
Right.
like feeling these feelings or in those moments. Like I like it,
Right.
but I trust it.
Right.
I've
And
gotten
it's
to
a
that
process.
point. I trust it.
It's a process.
Yeah.
So you do feel like you lose people. It's
And you
all
can trust the process.
part of that process. Yeah.
And you can get to a place where it's not so personal, you know? It's
Right.
not so personal. It's just opportunity for growth.
Right. Right. So it's really important, I would say, to listen to the stories you're telling yourself, because what I learned about myself in that interaction with Amanda was that I still feel this obsessive need to fix things. And that comes from growing up in an abusive household, where if I can follow the parameters exactly balanced and even keel, then we'll all stay safe.
Yep. And I feel an excessive need to hide because I grew up in a strict Italian Catholic house where I hid everything. So I could do whatever I wanted to do. So I could keep being, you know, a good girl. I could keep, you know, being good.
Yeah.
Because we all, you know, we all have hearts. You know, I don't even want to say like I'm being careful. I just cut off parts of myself so that I could fall in line with the environment I was in and be accepted by that environment.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to read here. Charlene says, agreed. Oh, and hi, Karen. Hi. Agreed. Trust yourself. We all expect to be happy 100% of the time, but that isn't realistic. Yeah. So it's okay to be okay with being down and lonely. It's just
Yes.
opportunities for growth.
It's
Beautiful.
critical.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you come to Earth for, is to have all this myriad of experiences, right? To feel the highs and the lows and the in-betweens. And like Amanda said, learning not to take things personally and learning not to judge yourself. I see you say that you're keen on that, Karen. But,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Karen.
you do need to have compassion and learn to develop that muscle for yourself.
Hmm. Yeah. Because really, and what's the judgment serving? You know?
It's confirming the story you're telling yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not serving anything, and it keeps you held back, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, we all do it.
Yes.
we all do it.
Like
and
you-
eventually you find that compassion where you're like,
Share
wow,
very openly
if I
about
did that for 2 years, something was really wrong. and I want to look and see, because I
Yeah.
deserve that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think does that check all the lonely boxes?
Anything we missed, Selena, that we should address?
I think it's just that compassion is important, and I think allowing yourself to be alone, to ask yourself those questions,
Yeah.
and being your own best friend.
Yeah. Being curious, right, about what you need and why you might feel lonely and how you can meet those needs. And you know, on the other side of lonely, like when you establish and you figure out what's going on, then you come back to the core, you come back to the center, then you get to kind of be this newbie in your life again, where now you're going to curate all new experiences because you've come back to you in this and you've caught up to your evolution, right? It's like an alignment happens. And like right now, I feel like a newbie in so many different spaces, and it's exciting, you know, mixed with a little lonely as I figure it all out.
I want to take a moment for a shameless plug. In the past, Oracle deck cards have launched. They're here. You can purchase them at the Mosaic Collective in Oshawa. I think it's in Oshawa. I think that's where it's located.
Yeah.
And you can purchase them at the Purple House, Sacred Quest in Whitby. You can buy them online at my website at spiritedhealing.ca/affirmation-deck. 84 affirmations, change your life. Right here.
Awesome.
Thanks for being here,
Good.
guys.
Yeah, thank you. It feels so good to be back. And
If there's
always
anything you
feel
want
good
us to
to
talk
share.
about, like hit us up in the comments because we're always looking for topics. We love to talk.
Yeah, I could do this every day. I did. I used to. Remember?
And
Yes,
Michelle,
Lena.
you need to talk about your group on Facebook.
Oh yes, and so the In the Past also has a community. It's a monthly membership program where we are working with the teachings of In the Past on the themes that are identified in the book and in the deck. So this month I guess we're coming closer to the end now of dealing with improving our attraction of abundance and allowing ourselves to receive. You know, there was so much like that you guys were just talking about at the end there that I thought I could touch on, but I don't want this to go over long because I know, you guys don't want to be sitting in front of your screens forever.
We probably
too.
already are a lot.
But maybe we could talk a little bit about what it means to become your own best friend and to identify that process because it's not easy.
Yeah, and actually, Charlene
And-
just wrote that. Talk to yourself like you would talk to your best friend.
Yeah.
Make your internal voice kind.
So we could talk about that. Amanda, you
Tara's
do look
on
good.
Thanks, Sierra. I must say, I feel pretty fine today. I'm feeling foxy. Thank you.
All right, everybody.
And Michelle, in the group, you're going to be working with the affirmations and the cards are kind of digging more into it.
Selena should just come and be on
Yeah,
camera.
And Amanda, you need to talk about your events that you're coming up and your group. as
Yes.
well.
So I too run a membership program. A few of you I recognize are in there. But yes, so what I do in my membership program is all things moon. So we meet in there once a week, helping our lonely through the pandemic. We actually came up with a Monday morning circle. So I do circle in the membership every Monday morning and I pull oracle cards for whoever's there and we talk lessons and connect really. It's just about having a touchstone every Monday to connect in. And then on Wednesdays, I do a moon report. We do full moon ceremony, new moon ceremony, and I brought Women's Wellness Circle back in the group. So just so you know, because I also see some Women's Wellness ladies here. So how it's going to be working is the membership, which is $35 a month. Circle is free for you. But if you're not part of the membership and that's all you want is Women's Wellness Circle, you can still sign up and get the Zoom link for a great lineup of speakers for the remainder of the year. It's awesome, and we run it exactly the same way that we did in person. So anyway.
So thanks for being
Yeah,
here.
thanks for being here. I miss you too, Karen. It's been so long. Yes. All right, everybody.
Don't be lonely.
Lots of love.
Be lovely.
Thanks for being here. Okay, bye everyone.